let's do triplet round this time. So here, also 4 parts in this song. Part 1, we have D's, we have A's, so that's A, first finger on G string. In measure 4, there's an F sharp, so now it's a high second finger note, and then D's and A's again. So it sounds like this. Part 2, there are D's in the first measure, F sharps in the second measure, A's in the third, D's, 1D is in the fourth measure, and then D, A, F sharp, E, D. So those are the notes. Now let's talk about the rhythm real quick. So you see how those are eighth notes. They have the bar that puts them together, but there's number 3 right above it. It's not the finger number. It's kind of the what's called an italic font. It's a little, diagonal. So that tells us that these eighths are triplet eighths. Hence the name of the tune. And that means that 3 notes are in one beat, like 1, 1, ta 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 ta. The good words to use to figure out this rhythm very well are 1, 2, chocolate, chocolate, ta 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 ta. Or coconut will work too. 1, 1. Coconut, coconut. Okay, so now I'm going to play part 2. 1, 2. That's part 2. Part 3 is actually just the same notes wise, but you see how in the beginning there's one measure of rest and then the other measure of rest, and then you start. But if you look at the notes are exactly the same as in part 2. Part 4, like in my paddle, that's a trickier part, so I'm going to explain it now, but we will probably get to it a little bit later. So in part 4, in first measure, the notes are D and A, goes like this. In second measure, D, E, D, D, F sharp, G, so it goes like this. If you noticed, I used my fourth finger to play the E, this time not the open string. Then the third measure, it is A, third finger on E string, and B, fourth finger on A string. The fourth measure is A and A. The next measure, we already had a measure like this. The next measure is the tricky one. We have A's on E string, third finger notes, and we have D, third finger on A string, and A, open string, like this. The next measure is all on E string. F sharp, G, F sharp, E, F sharp, E. And the last measure is D. So that's how the whole line sounds, the whole part. 1, 2. All right? Well, there are lots of notes. Some of them are quite new to you, so get to practice. Have fun.